Hello, hi, what's up? So today is an Inktober, but it is not just an Inktober, it's also kind of a review because in the post today I got this dun, 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 Arches watercolour paper. I've been wanting to get this for a while, but I never did because let's be real, I'm a broke bitch and I can't be afforded spending 30 quid on 12 sheets of paper. The one I usually get, the Dalarani Aqua something. I'll try and put the name up here, but it's like a jumbo pad. You get like 50 sheets and it's like £22, and that works pretty well for me. I haven't had any issues with that. Let's open this bad boy up. Have a look at the paper. This is really hard. Come on, for God's sake. Right, be careful not to actually damage it. It's just the backboard, who cares? So, I want to see if this is all it's hyped up to be, because to be honest, at a certain point I don't think the paper really affects your artwork that much. I know if you use shitty printer paper, obviously you're gonna come up with some shitty work, but I think you can make some really decent artwork with cheaper paper, although this does feel nice. So I'm switching to voiceover here just because the audio went really weird at that point. I'm not sure why, it just sounded really muffled. So right now I'm just talking about the paper, which is cold pressed paper. It's got quite a rough texture, very toothy. I've got cold pressed paper in the past, but this Arches one is it has this weird texture. It feels almost like fine sandpaper, like really fine tooth sandpaper. And I'm not sure it's because this is 100% cotton and a lot of the papers I used in the past haven't been. But it's quite unusual and I wasn't really sure if I was going to like it, if it was going to work for me. Oh, and by the way, the paper that I usually use, the one I was just talking about, is the Dalarani Jumbo Aquafine Textured Watercolour Sketchbook. So it's not really a sketchbook, it's a pad where it's gummed on one side like it usually is. I don't know why they refer to it as a sketchbook. But anyway, that one is also A3, it's 50 pages, 300 GSM, and that's what I've been using for, I don't know, probably like a couple years. So right here I'm talking about whether I should cut the paper down instead of using the whole A3 sheet, because I wasn't sure I would need it for the illustration I was planning, but I decided to go with A3 so I could just use the whole sheet. And I'm quite glad I did actually, because I was able to get a bit more detail in, and it took longer than I've taken for the other Inktober's. For some reason this took me like 3 days. I didn't actually spend that long on the actual painting, but like the gaps in between, for some reason I just like kept putting off doing it. I think I was getting a bit burnt out. I'm glad I took that little break anyway. So while I'm here, I'll just talk a little bit about the illustration. I didn't have a specific kind of concept that prompted this illustration. I just kind of came up with the idea of like this girl, a nice kind of blue starry night with the crescent moon. The moon has made a lot of appearances in my Inktober so far. I just like, it's just so linked with like Wicca and witchcraft and stuff that I've just included it in like most of my illustrations. But yeah, I like the idea of kind of having this girl really intertwined with nature, because that's a big thing in these kind of spiritual practices and pagan beliefs, is that you really get into nature, and also the night time is quite big for them. So back to the paper. I knew it was a decent paper, it looked really decent, felt nice, but to be honest I wasn't expecting anything like spectacular or amazing that would warrant it being so much more expensive than the paper I usually get. And the fact that it's 100% cotton is really nice. I think the reason 100% cotton is better is because it's more archival. You're less likely to have fading or discoloration on 100% cotton paper. So if you do want your artwork to stick around for a long time and to hold up to the sands of time, maybe this is a better option. I mean, I like the idea of my work being, you know, around and admired for this long, but I'm not going to kid myself into thinking I'm some sort of Rembrandt or anything. But I've got to admit, I really did like the paper. I didn't want to because it's so much more expensive. I didn't want to like kind of be forced to spend more on this paper now because other papers pale in comparison, and that's not necessarily how I feel now. I think compared to some other papers I've tried, this is really nice. The colours are very rich on it, everything really blends together nice and it's quite smooth. So I did a similar wash like this on Arteza paper. I think it was my day 3 illustration, and it didn't really look that nice. It was a lot patchier, you could see like the marks, but this one the transition, the like fade from the darker blue to the lighter looks a lot smoother. The colours blend together really well. The paper didn't buckle much either, which even though I didn't tape it down and I put a couple of washes of that ink on, it still didn't buckle very much, which I thought was really good. So yeah, I don't really have anything bad to say about this paper, except when I was trying to put the foliage and leaves down, sometimes it wasn't super crisp. Like, even though I'd waited for the layers to dry, it kind of seemed to bleed a little bit, but I think that's kind of what you expect with a cold press paper versus a hot press paper. Not everything's going to be completely smooth and crisp because of all that texture on the paper. But because I do a lot of very expressive work and I want everything to blend together, usually I don't usually do clean, crisp work with like line work and stuff. So yeah, am I gonna completely switch over to this paper and not use anything else? No. I might use this and buy it again and save it for like commissions or work that I really want to be special, but I think I will probably buy more of the Dala Rowney paper that I usually use, because that still is like a really decent paper and I do like it. So yeah, not a super in-depth review, but I don't really know how to do an in-depth review. It's more like my initial thoughts / musings on the paper. Yeah, so negative, if you want super crisp lines, not amazing, but you know, it's the same for all cold press paper pretty much. Positives, it doesn't warp much, the colours go down quite richly, the colours blend very well, and it's very archival apparently. I don't know, I'm not going to be around in 1,000 years to see what it looks like, but yeah, I think I'll leave it there. So yeah, I'm working on a couple more Inktober's now. Thought I'd multitask and record this voiceover while I'm waiting for some of the layers to dry. But yeah, I'm off, so see you later.